We're going to go rapid fire here, but there's a lot to talk about. It was a very eventful Saturday yesterday. Texas beat TCU 32-27. These wins are so beneficial for a program when you're building one. I know folks saw them hang 70 on Texas Tech, and a lot of folks looked at this 4.5 or 5.5 point spread. Texas is only favored by what? If you're close to this rivalry, if you've been around this game, you knew there was no alternate universe where Texas was about to blow TCU out. That's just not the way this game works. And so that line fooled a lot of you. We stayed away from it because, I went to our folks at Horns 24/7. I looked at their score predictions. None of them. I don't think any of them had a blowout. And they're as close to the team as anyone. That was the expectation level. When you can win a game like this, when you don't come out clean, when you got blood stains and mud stains all over and your clothes are ripped, and your lip is split open, but you got to win. Boy, you feel good. You don't look great. You feel like you're a little worse for wear, but boy, afterwards, there is a level of satisfaction when you're just laying there spent and you got to win at a place where it's been very hard for you to win. That means a little something extra and something you can draw on. You don't draw on blowout wins down the road. You draw on these knife fight kinds of wins. It was not a huge day through the air. Texas was 12 of 22 for 142 yards passing. But let me tell you what they do have. They probably got one of, if not the best players in the country in the backfield, because Bijan Robinson carried it 35 times for 216 yards yesterday. That is also Derrick Henry type work. 6.2 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. They play Oklahoma Saturday. Oklahoma has opened as a 3.5 point favorite in the Red River Shootout. We will be on the field for that game. Speaking of the Sooners, Oklahoma a 37-31 win over Kansas State. We had the Wildcats plus 10.5, so I'm a huge fan of kick returns for touchdowns, obviously. What a swerve we had here. Big time swerve. Skylar Thompson. We bet Kansas State thinking he wasn't going to play. So imagine our pleasant surprise when not only does the starting quarterback actually start, what did he do, Colin? He went 29 of 41 for 320 yards, 3 touchdowns. Listen to this now. You may look at it and say, oh, Oklahoma only won by 6. No, friend, this was a big win for them because this has been a place that's been a nightmare for them as well. Oklahoma got outgained. They had 10 penalties for 85 yards. Kansas State was 4 of 5 on 4th down. All that happened, and yet Oklahoma still won. It feels good to get those kinds of wins. Those are program builders. Those are season builders. And now, like I just said, Oklahoma goes into the Red River Shootout. Shouldn't be known by any other name. They are favored by 3.5. Texas A&M. Texas A&M was in the biggest ambush spot of the weekend. We talked about this briefly on Thursday. Talked about it a little bit more on radio in Texas. No one was looking at this game. They were favored by 7. The line never moved all week, and Texas A&M, they fall to Mississippi State. I said in the preseason, I thought Georgia was a really good litmus test for Texas A&M. Those were programs in comparable positions. They both have multi-year staffs, sky-high expectation levels. They are both really, really stocked in recruiting. It was fair, I thought, to compare the two. Well, they're both on their backup quarterback right now. One, as I said, body bagged the top 10 team yesterday with very, very little effort. I don't think Georgia broke a sweat. And then you got Texas A&M dropping back-to-back games. Program feels like it's just splintered. At the very least, the season is. I won't speak on the program. But it's really a redefiner. We at CBS, we circle a game. I'm not in the meeting, believe it or not, but we circle a game every year as the primetime standalone 8 o'clock kickoff game. And they made the same decision I would have if I were in the meeting. Back in the preseason, they said, Bama going to College Station? Absolutely, we'll take it. Whoa, we're not even going. I'm not even going to the game Saturday. And if you would have told me in the preseason I will choose not to be at Bama A&M, I would have thought you were crazy. But yet here we are, 2-loss A&M, a 17-point dog at home. I don't think that number's big enough, by the way, against Alabama. Listen, good for Mississippi State, because right now, here's where Mike Leach and company are. They got a bye week, then they got Bama. But after Bama, they got 6 games they'll have a shot in. All 6. They're not going to be favorites in them, but they got a shot the remainder of the way. So congratulations there. Because I know this was off a lot of radars. And by the end of the day, everyone was watching it. Michigan just skull-drug Wisconsin, 38-17. Hey, I'm quitting Wisconsin. You can write that down. That's official. That's from me. I'm on the record. I quit Wisconsin. They have burned me twice in the last 2 weeks. I keep thinking there's going to come a day where they don't lose the turnover battle. And dare I say, even maybe win the turnover battle. It's just not going to happen. This is Wisconsin football. They turn the ball over and they underachieve. They are a 3-loss team now. They're 1-3. But I'll tell you what Michigan is. They're undefeated. And here we are. They got an identity about themselves, but they don't just have to run the ball to win, because yesterday they ran it and they largely failed. They ran it 44 times for 112 yards. That's a bad day on the ground. That is 2.5 yards per carry. But they won comfortably anyway, because Cade McNamara had to throw the ball a little bit yesterday, and Michigan had to throw the ball a little bit yesterday. And a funny thing happened. When you commit to throwing the ball against Wisconsin, your receivers get open, because Wisconsin does not have a great secondary. And McNamara was 18 of 30, 253 through the air, threw for 3 touchdowns, a little over 8 yards per completion. Good day for Michigan. It's been quite a while since they won in Madison, so good day for Michigan. Michigan is on the road again this week, and they are a 3-point favorite against Nebraska. And that is Las Vegas telling you, here you go. And it's got a little ring toy on the end. They're just shaking it in front of you. Here you go. By the way, congratulations to that offensive line for Michigan. Really good day yesterday. Tennessee made very easy work, in fact, suspiciously easy work of Missouri. The Vols win 62-24. These teams ran just about the same amount of plays. That's where the similarities ended, because Tennessee outgained Missouri 677-396. That's not on the metric system. Those are real life, what I call English numbers. 677-396. You want a padlock stat? First padlock stat of the show. Tennessee ran for 452 yards. That's the padlock stat. That is about half a mile, according to our calculations. They ran it 58 times for 452. That is 7.8 yards per carry. That is violence. That's all that is. Eli Drinkwitz, very demoralized, as anyone would be if they had a mud hole that big stomped in them and then walked dry. Shout out Stone Cold Steve Austin. Missouri is not a very good football team, but that doesn't take away from what Tennessee accomplished yesterday. Now we start to look at Tennessee, and in fact, I want to do something here. So Tennessee, they're off your radar. I know they are. I'm stalling so I can pull up my helmet grid schedule. So Tennessee so far this year, they are in week 5. So they're about to play South Carolina this Saturday. And then they're going to play Ole Miss. And then they go to Alabama. Then they're going to have a bye week. Forget about the Alabama game. But these next 2 weeks for Tennessee, South Carolina, very winnable. Ole Miss, winnable. All of a sudden, we could be living in a world where Tennessee is not an afterthought. And Tennessee's being taken serious in year 1 under Josh Heupel. And imagine what kind of world that could be. Oregon lost yesterday. I wanted to touch on this just a second because it kind of validates something that we said about 3 weeks ago. Oregon, in order to fulfill whatever their max potential is, we've believed this for a while, something will have to happen at quarterback. Anthony Brown's not good enough to get them ultimately where they can go. Here's the problem. I'm not ever at practice, so I don't know where their other quarterbacks are. So normally, 99 times out of 100, the starter is starting because he's the best, and he gives you the best chance to win. I'm not even telling you that's not the case here. It could be that Anthony Brown does give them the best chance to win. I'm just telling you if that's the case, Oregon's going to have a lot of wasted potential this year. There are a lot of facets of this team that have immensely high potential. Quarterback's not one of them right now. Yesterday, they lost, by the way, in overtime, 31-24 to Stanford. Anthony Brown failed to throw for 200 yards for the 3rd time this year. I was reading our friends over on Duck Territory write about this. They were kind as they could be, but it's not a kind picture right now. They're entering a bye week, or the Oregon Ducks. There are some critical decisions to make, because if there's going to be a change, then it'll happen this week. I'm really interested to see how Mario Cristobal and Joe Moorhead and that staff go about this, because they know, that's what's frustrating for them. They know better than we do what kind of potential they have. Can't realize it with that inefficient level of production at quarterback. Can't realize it.